Hey, it's Susan Donovan, and what I'd like to take a look at today is how you can randomize questions on your test. So basically, the idea is we're going to have a pool of answers, or pool of questions, I should say, on our test, and you'll be able to select from within that pool. So let's pop on into Blackboard and take a look at how this works. So in the setup of the question, we have something called a question set, which you see right here. This is a question set that has 5 questions that it selects from, and it selects 2 at random. And here are the 5 questions that it chooses from. After that, I have 2 regular questions that every student will get on the test. And then I have down here a second question set, which I'm actually going to delete so that we're dealing with only 1. So the setup for our test is the first 2 questions will be a random question from this set of 5. And then the next 2 questions will be these 2 questions as shown. So let's take a look at how that works in the test itself. We'll go into handouts. And we'll go into our test. So let's see what the test would look like for a student. So if one student clicks on this test, they get these 2 questions first. So they have 2 of these jumble questions where you need to fill in the blanks basically. And then the second 2 questions are the same for every student. Now, if I save and submit this and come back at it as if I'm a different student, we'll see that the first 2 questions have changed. And so let's see how that works. Okay, so reloading it. And now the first question is a jumble question, but it isn't the same one that it was before. And the second question is something totally new. So that's the idea behind creating a question set. So let's look at how you set it up. Now, in order to do this, you're going to want to already have some questions in Blackboard. So once you've made a few tests and a few quizzes for your students, you can reuse those questions. Now, if you want to create a set of questions just to specifically use for a certain test, just create a test and don't assign it. And that way, that test will be available to you when you're ready to start creating a question pool. Okay, so let's hop back to Blackboard. And we'll take a look at makeup test for 1 and 2. And let's go ahead and edit this test. This will take us back to where we were right at the beginning of this video. So again, we see when we have a question set that this is how it shows up. Let's add a new question set. So you're going to want to go to this Reuse Questions menu and choose Create Question Set. Don't create a random question block. That might sound like what we want, but it's actually something that isn't that helpful, where you have to include all of the questions that are multiple choice or all of the questions that are free response in your random pool. We want something that's a little bit more specific than that. So we choose Create Question Set, and then we can click here to see all of the different tests that we've deployed for our classes. And if we click All Tests, it'll show us all of the questions. And we can click on these icons here in order to see what the questions actually are. So let's create a question set that's calculated formula type questions. So I'll take these 3. Well, these are kind of similar, so let's actually get some different ones. So we'll take that one and more calculated formula questions. I'll go to the next page. Okay, next page. Well, here we go. We'll take this question and this one. Okay, so we have 3 questions, and we'll hit submit. And let's suppose that we want each student to have one of these 3 questions selected at random. So this has been added to the end of our test here. That's the question set. And because it says 1 here, 1 will be selected at random. Though I can, of course, change this number to 2 or whatever we want. But 1 is what we want. So we'll go ahead and say OK. And now our test sample of random questions will begin with 2 random questions. Then it will have 2 planned questions. And it will end with one random question. Okay. So let's see how that works out. So here are 2 random questions at the beginning. Oh, let's jump around a little bit. And then our planned questions in the middle. And then we have one of the 3 random questions that we selected at the end. So that's all I wanted to show you for today. Thanks for watching the video, and bye-bye.